First question, I have my watch with a large dial and a second hand ticking, 60 seconds from Rose Luckin on how can we best use the cloud to enable more effective workplace learning? Rose.
Okay, so 3 things that we know from research about how people think and learn that are useful here. The first one is cloud technologies driving learning and content into the workplace is good. We know that people who learn through a variety of different experiences across different contexts can apply that learning flexibly and effectively. Second point, different generations learn in different ways. Young people are early adopters of new and emerging technologies. They use these technologies to access material whenever they want it and they feel in control. So we need to use those skills and expectations in the workplace through on-demand learning, for example. Third thing, socially distributed cognition, long word, means people learn and think well when they can share the mental effort with other people and things. Cloud technologies allow us to blend other people and things, such as technologies, together to help people learn. So, 3 things.
I love that, thank you. That was 3 seconds over, but I think it was worth it because socially distributed cognition probably takes up at least 3 seconds. And it's a phrase worth remembering. Jenny, from Towards Maturity Research, do we have anything that backs up what Rose is saying?
Yes, absolutely. What we're finding is that the people who are in the embedded and established categories are much more likely to be using cloud-based learning. We're looking at an overall perspective, around 20% of organisations offer cloud-based learning, and these are also the ones that would be the more progressive ones. If we look at what they're using it for, they tend to use more for the softer skills, teamworking, problem-solving, communications, leadership and management training. These are the ones that seem to come out on top when we look at who is actually using cloud computing and what they're using it for.
Very interesting. I do like data. I do like it when facts actually back up speculation. So Kenny, Charles, we've heard the numbers, we've heard the thoughts. What are your take on it? Kenny, at Sky.
So I think it gives an opportunity for people to access content real time, learn in different ways, and it adds a lot of value in terms of flexibility as well.
Yeah.
And also, one of the things that we've done is look at actually how we can extend that beyond just our organisations, our business partners as well, and use that technology to improve development within their organisations too.
Yeah. Okay, I think this business of being able to use the cloud for the extended enterprise is a really important one. Sky are doing it. So many organisations are using the cloud and SaaS in order to get stuff out to partners, customers, and clients. We're going beyond the enclosed area of L&D. Charles, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I think two key things are there's a multitude of resources and ways of accessing information. And what's the other one? I don't know. No, and of course the other one is that people expect to be able to learn in this way because they're becoming familiar with it. So as people designing learning solutions, we have to recognise both those things, and we'll come on to how you accommodate those in a few minutes, I think.
Okay, thanks. I think that's a really good point. We can't dodge the bullet of user expectation. Everyone's on the cloud, everyone's on the internet all the time. You buy something on Amazon, it's smooth, it's slick, and it's easy to use, and that's what people are expecting in terms of an interface and experience. But that's just my opinion. What's your opinion? Grab your handsets, please. Grab sounds a bit energetic, doesn't it? I mean, you're only picking up a handset, really. And let me ask your opinion. How can we best use the cloud to enable more effective workplace learning? Dwell on the question a moment, if you will, and then choose your answer 1 through to 6. Let's have a look at that. Right, panel, let's see. Very interesting. There's a very clear winner, which is the idea of providing, if you like, an infrastructure of learning. Enable or create a knowledge environment that encourages sharing. In other words, this is not about push. This is about creating the infrastructure for it. I'm going to go back to the panel for their comments. What's your view on this? I think it's really interesting that there's such a clear winner in terms of creating a knowledge environment. It's almost half the people. Sharing is what it's about. Rose, is this what you mean by distributed, cognitive, whatever it was?
Absolutely. Yeah. That would certainly support socially distributed cognition, sharing the load, learning collaboratively. And I'm also pleased to see empowering learners to take control in there as well, because that's also something that I think will make a big difference.
Yeah. Any other thoughts, Charles?
I think it works well when people have opinions, where there's no right answer, and where people are encouraged to explore for themselves. And that's what we know, that cognitively learning works best when you have to work your own way to a goal.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think there's a definite link between the three, obviously. Creating a knowledge environment that encourages sharing will ultimately empower learners to take control and will allow them to take that on themselves.
I think at the end, if we have time, I'm going to pick up Charles's point, which is, yes, there are times when there is no right answer. It's great to share and discover together. Contrary-wise, of course, there will be times when there is a right answer. Is this the right way of approaching those sorts of learning issues as well? It may be, but let's pick up that later on.